Hello, you guys. I have had some readings where I've had clients come to me saying that other readers have said to them that they will always have to cope with certain things, such as like anxiety, depression, and things like that. And it didn't really make me feel very good because I firmly, truly believe that there are many things that get stuck within our bodies. It could be traumas, it could be grief, it can be so many different things, but I am a firm believer that we can shift and move these things out of our body. We can change our thought patterns, we can change our habits, we can change our trauma responses, we can change so many different things. So yeah, when I've had different clients say to me that people, counselors, healers, readers, friends, family, whatever it is, it's like saying to them that you will always feel this way or you're just going to have to learn how to cope with it. I just think, no, you can unwind certain things. I've been doing some inner child healing stuff for years. Like over the years, I've dived into my intuition and my spirit guides and all that, showing me what I need to do in order to help heal my beautiful inner child. And I think there are many things that we can do. One of the things that I did was I actually asked myself, I had an inner conversation with myself. 16-year-old Zoe, how did I make you feel? Like what have I done, or what could I have done to help these situations type things, I've had different experiences of sexual abuse and stuff like that. I don't know the rules on YouTube if you're allowed to say these words. I think it's a bit stupid that you can't. But I'm going to use those words. Sexual abuse and stuff like that. And so I asked my 16-year-old self, is there anything you want to tell me? Like, what do I need to know? And no shit, she said back to me that after someone else disrespected my body, I then continued to disrespect my body. That made me go, oh, ow, oh, you know what I mean? Very confronting. It can be very confronting. But I was thankful for it. I was like, wow, that makes complete sense. So unfortunately, sexual abuse is a very common thing, isn't it? Very common for men and women, not just women. And where was I going with that? Sorry. It is a very common thing. It happens to most people. Should I be holding on to that? No way. Why is it that when things like this happen to us, we feel blame, we feel guilt, we feel shame, we feel like it's our fault, when it should be on the other person? It should be on the other person, especially when it's adults against children, and things like that. I firmly believe that there are many things that we can dive into, confront ourselves about, take out of our bodies. I really firmly believe that. And the reason I firmly believe that is because I also have come from a place of having severe depression, severe anxiety, severe trauma responses with PTSD, right? I still do have anxiety, depression, PTSD. However, it is turned right down. I have dialed it right down. I did not do that overnight. I think you can barely ever do that overnight, unless sometimes we have these realizations. Sometimes we have these smack in the face realizations where we're like, oh wow, point blank period, I get it fully, I will never do that again. And we will, and we can change overnight. However, I feel when it's things that are deep-seated traumas, deep-seated, life experiences and all that sort of stuff, it can take a while to unwind. It really can. I have had PTSD since I was young, quite young. I'm 38 now, but I was quite young. I was not diagnosed with PTSD until I think I was about 31. So that's only 7 years between then and now, right? It took me a good couple of years to stop being as triggered, to recognize and see what is triggering me and why. As soon as I got that diagnosis, and for me, I don't think you always need diagnoses. However, I do think that they can help. In my case, it did. Because I'm one of those the kind of people that I dive in deep. I like to find out the hows, the whats, and the whys. Why am I so triggered? What's triggering me? How can I unwind this? You know what I mean? There's many different things that we can do. I find that a lot of us sensitive beings, we feel so much. We feel other people's feelings. I'm seeing like eggshells around me. We absorb so much, and we need to get to a place where we can place it. What is mine? What is theirs? Am I taking on board this person's thoughts, feelings, or are they mine? If they're mine, I need to dive in and go, oh, okay, so why is it that every time a door slams, I get a fright response, and then for weeks on end, even the tiniest little noise, I'm re-frightened. Why is that? Maybe it's because when you were younger, maybe someone's hand got slammed in the door and it was traumatic, and you saw someone's, maybe you saw someone have a open scar on their hand and there's blood everywhere, and maybe you were only, let's say, 7. How can you comprehend that? How can you comprehend certain screams? How can you comprehend that banging noise with a scream after it? You know what I mean? And now you're in your 27-year-old body and a door slams and you're still having that response. Maybe it was the wind this time. Maybe you left the door open and there's just been a gust of wind. You know what I mean? There are certain things we can do to unwind these things. I don't like hearing, as a practitioner myself, that my beautiful clients who come to me are saying things like, I was told X, Y, Z. It doesn't sit right with me. There are things we can unwind, and we will unwind them. And we'll unwind them by, hopefully hearing things like this. I've heard things over YouTube. I've heard things on Facebook. I've read certain things, and there's something within me that resonates and goes, oh wow, I'm going to try that. I'm going to try that and see what happens. I do think as well that I'm seeing the word longevity come into my head, where it's like, this is the long game. We've got to play the long game. There are things called spiritual practice, and that is for a reason. It's because it needs to be practiced over and over and over again until we unwind these things, and then more some, you know what I mean? Someone who's trying to cure insomnia is not going to do it overnight. Some people can, some people can for sure. So I won't take that away whatsoever. But what I'm saying is, this is a practice. Let's say you've got insomnia and you're trying these different things to help relax you into a sleep. And let's say you do it for 3 nights in a row and you actually manage to sleep for 4-hour periods when before you've only slept for 1. And then let's say on the 4th night, you sleep for 1 again. It's very important that you don't beat yourself up. It's very important that you don't backtrack and go, I'm never going to do this. It's never going to work. Never, never, never. It worked for 3 nights. It worked for 3 nights, you know. I'm not even entirely sure where I'm headed with this video, but I just felt like speaking on this because it frustrates me when people say things to people where it's like, you will never get over that. I mean, there's certain things that happen in your life where it's like, that will always affect you. But I want to chuck in, to a point, yes, that probably will affect you. To a point. What is the point going to be? Is it going to be that every time the door slams, you're hiding under the table and you're shaking and you've got anxiety for weeks and weeks and weeks from it? Or is the point going to be where you're unwinding and you're going, okay, I recognize, it's observing yourself really is what it is. I recognize that that door slammed and I understand and I know that I didn't hear a scream after that because that didn't happen again. The doors just slammed. No windows broke. Nothing's broken. I didn't put the hinge on the door or whatever it is, you know what I mean? We can unwind these things. We can unwind many, many things, many things. I myself have unwound trauma around death. I've unwound traumas around sexual abuse. I've unwound traumas of abandonment issues. I've unwound many different things. And that's not to say that I'm sitting here going, I'm fully 100% good, because I'm not. But I am a shitload better. A lot better. I've come to a place where even last week, for the last couple of weeks, I've had heightened anxiety. And I recognize and know that that's not my normal anymore. And it used to be my normal. And it used to be beyond that anxiety level was my normal. I've unwound that. I've gone back to what I call baselines. What is the baseline of it? What's the baseline? I'm trying to think of an example of what a baseline could be. Baseline could be, let's say that your partner has said something to you. It's not even necessarily off the cuff, but your response to it is, oh, your wall's gone straight up. I've heard this before. I felt this before, you know. But the baseline is your partner doesn't lie. Your partner's not a liar. Your partner doesn't cheat. Your partner's actually really loyal, but you're having a trigger response. Your trigger response could be the fact that through all your 20s, you've drawn in people and partners who have lied, who are dodgy, who have made your intuition go all over the place, which then does send you in your head and does make you have more anxious thoughts. Baseline. My partner doesn't lie. My partner doesn't cheat. My partner's very loyal. And how do you know that? Oh, because I've shown you this for years. You know what I mean? Oh, shit. Okay, so where is this coming from? Oh, it's coming from 22-year-old Zoe, who her intuition was offline, you know, and it was purposely offline by partners she chose that would wrangle her words, gaslight, manipulate. But this isn't happening now because, well, just for example, you know, my partner, he's not like that. So therefore you can start unwinding these sorts of things. You really can. Yeah. I don't know. Hopefully this video makes sense for you guys. I just felt like speaking into it because I've heard that too many times now. You will always have to cope with this. No, I'm sorry. I refuse to believe that. Thank you. You may think that and feel that. I'm sorry as well. Sorry, not sorry. As a practitioner, it doesn't sit with me. Even if friends or family or whatever are saying that, it doesn't sit well with me. But especially as practitioners, we should know better. I think we should know better. I don't think it's beneficial or okay to say to a client, you will always have to cope with that. There's so many things across the board that can be unraveled. And I'm not here here saying that every single case and every single thing that's happened in your life, yeah, maybe there are some things you're going to have to cope with. But at what level as well? At what level? I think we've come to a place in society and stuff like that where it's also spirit saying the white man. We've been led to believe that we can't unwind these things. We've been led to believe that we should be heavily medicated. We've been led to believe that, I'll just have a wine at the end of the night, or maybe you end up having a bottle. Well, you're actually becoming a freaking alcoholic, even if you're just having a bottle of wine at the end of the week. You know what I mean? What are we doing to dive in and actually properly unwind these things? What are we doing? I've come to find that a lot of beautiful people are filling voids, they're filling holes. And I'm not saying that in a judgmental way because I did too. I have too. I've done that. I mean, let's be real. Maybe there's even some possibilities that I still do with some things. Who knows? I feel pretty good within myself most of the time, but let's be real, you know what I mean? What do we do to fill these voids? Are we drinking? Are we smoking? Are we popping pills? Are we going to the gym for 4 hours at a time when our body only needs 1? Are we restricting our diet so heavily that, you know what I mean? It feels like scrutinizing yourself. Are we jumping from relationship to relationship? Are we able to actually sit with ourselves and our thoughts and our feelings? What are we doing? What are we doing to unwind these things, our lives and our life experiences? There's so many things that happen to people where I feel I've come to find for myself and also now being a practitioner that I feel people need to be validated in how they feel. I feel that there's so many things that people go through and we're left to feel like we're crazy. We're left to feel like we're dumb. We're left to feel like it is not normal when it is normal. It's normal to feel. What are we going to do with those feelings? Where are we going to place them? How are we going to navigate them? I'm very keen on helping people unwind these things. I know that that's a big part of as to why I am here, is to help people unwind these things. There are things that we can do. I do feel that being reflective and observing yourself, your thoughts, your feelings, how is your body responding to certain things? That will tell you a lot. Are you going to certain places and there's certain people that on the front, they're really lovely, they're charismatic, they're giving on the outside, but your gut goes off at them. You know what I mean? Your body is telling you. Your body is telling you certain things. But yeah, I think that there are many things that we can do to unwind our thoughts, to unwind our feelings, start placing things with people. Sorry, my hay fever. There are things that we can do. And I really want you to start knowing that and believing that there are things we can do. I was a very different person, and we're meant to change. We're meant to grow, we're meant to expand, we're meant to change. I was a very different person. I was quite bitter. I was very angry. I blamed pretty much everyone for many different things. And as I've gotten older, I've taken accountability and responsibility for my own shit. And like I said, place the other things with people. Not everything is yours to carry. Sometimes we process other people's shit before ours, man, and it's not good. You know, it's theirs to process, it's not ours. We need to process our own stuff. That is my big rambles. I just think that, yeah, I'll probably hear it again, but I don't want to hear it anymore. These beautiful people coming to me being like, I was told this, and I was told I'll never know this, or I'll never do this, or I'll never do that. Come on, you guys. I don't mean you guys, I mean like the practitioners. What are we doing here? We're meant to be helping people get through these things. We're meant to be helping people unwind and unravel these things. That's what we're meant to be doing, in my opinion. That's my soul saying that too, not just my Zoe, not my human. What are we doing here? We're meant to be helping people unwind. We're meant to be loving people. And we're meant to be loving ourselves, showing ourselves grace. You know, that's what I believe we're meant to be doing. But yeah, that's my rambles. If anyone's interested in knowing how to unwind these sort of things or wants videos on how to do this, I'm actually really drawn to inner child work, because I think that's heavily important, even for our adult healing. There's lots hidden, within inner child healing. But yeah, I'm sending you guys so much love. If you are really on track of trying to unwind all these things within your body, I just give you props, because I understand and recognize it is hard work, but it is such beautiful work and such beneficial work. Okay. Thank you guys for listening. Bye-bye.